Y'all ever have one of those days where you just got entirely too much time on your hands and all you can do is think about dumb shit that don't even matter, stuff you've done that makes you laugh, stuff you want to do. Sorry, I know it's kind of noisy, I'm spraying. You know, the goat shit again. You know, the stuff that really matters. I was thinking about this time, just a little funny story. I used to be a CNA. It was probably one of my favorite jobs, and I've had a whole lot of jobs. But one of my favorite jobs I've had. I really loved being a CNA. It made me feel good. I loved the people that I took care of. And I don't care what anybody says, if you're ever a CNA, there is never a good nursing home ever. If you love your people, do not put them in a home, because there's always shitty CNAs, always. I've worked in a really nice home that was high end, and I've worked in a, basically a dump site for people. There's never a good one, never. There's always bad people, there's always bad management, and there's always bad, you know, CNAs. But I loved doing it. Almost got in fights everywhere I worked at because I would not allow people to mistreat people. But I had I got to work with Skylar at both places I worked at. Was amazing. She is a great nurse. I loved working with her. And I got to work with my daughter, which was one of the best things, one of my highlights of working as a CNA. But she's the reason I'm making this video. So I got to work with my daughter. So I didn't work on the same floor as her. I worked night shift, she worked day shift. But at the end of her shift, she came upstairs talking to me, and she was crying. And I was like, you know, what's the matter, baby? Because my daughter is my absolute best friend. That's my baby girl. I will fight the world for her. And some lady downstairs who was twice her age and was a CNA also was being mean and bullying her. And of course, my daughter is like me. She's mouthy, but she had enough, and she just couldn't take it anymore, and this woman would not leave her alone. So I'm like, that's okay, I'll be right back. So I go downstairs, and this little nurse, as soon as I walk downstairs, she knows who I am. I don't know her name, but she's like, hey, I took care of it, it's fine. I'm like, no, you didn't, because I haven't taken care of it. She tries to stop me, but I walk by her, I go around the corner. We go into this little room, and she's like, you're not going to talk to her. I took care of it. About that time, this bitch walks in the room, and she's like, I'm like, oh, you're this girl, right? I'm not going to say her name because I'm not like that. She's like, yeah, and laughs. And I'm like, well, I'm Courtney's mom. She snickers again and kind of just stands there. And the nurse is like, we're not going to do this here. I said, that's okay, bitch. We get off at the same time, motherfucker. And she just has this look on her face like, oh, God, you know, because she's coming in to relieve my daughter. And so I told the nurse, I said, that's all I had to say. So I turn around and I walk upstairs, right? A few minutes later, our DON calls me, and she's like, now, Gail, you can't threaten people. I said, oh, sweetheart, I didn't threaten her. I just let her know we get off at the same time. She's like, Gail, no, that's not how you meant it. I said, you can't tell me how I meant something, because perception is everyone's reality. So how she took it is her perception, and how I meant it's mine. And they escorted that bitch out of the building that day. I thought that was a pretty good story.